everyone. Welcome to the Health Chats podcast. This is part two of conversations with my family members about love and relationships. And I am sitting here with my brother's wife, Hannah. Say hi. Hi. And we are still in beautiful Croatia. It is gorgeous. It is very hot. And that's why we're just gonna have a slow and gentle conversation so we don't get
Sounds good.
heated because we're already there.
Yeah, already overheating.
Yes, we are already overheating. I am gonna ask the same questions to Hannah and then my brother. I already said this in the first one, but I think love and relationships and connection is a shared thing with all humans. We all experience it.
Mhm.
And since we're 30 years into my parents' marriage
Yeah.
and now 1 year into yours and Riley's
Mhm.
marriage, it just feels like a significant time to have this conversation. And I'm just a curious human. So thank you for being here and
Yeah,
letting me ask. So we'll start with the first one if you're ready.
I'm ready.
How do you define love?
Um, you know, I kind of thought about this. You sent these a few hours ago, and I've been thinking about it, and I think my definition of love has changed over the years. I think when I was younger, I defined it more as like maybe more like an intimate love, like, someone has to like you or love you for like how you look or
Mm.
like what you do for them. Um, but I think that's definitely changed over, my adulthood and my growth. Um, how I define love now is more so you are who you are, and your partner or your friend is who they are, and it's not love isn't to change them. Love isn't to um you know sh- shape or morph them into something that is more uh aligned with your agenda or what you're looking for in a partner, or a friend or what have you. I define it more as, you are a human to a human, a friend to a friend, a partner to a partner, and I I see it more as you accept them who they are, which is very cliche, but you really do. You accept them who they are and love them for who they are that day.
Mm.
Riley and I, Kelsey's brother, have been married, yeah, 1 whole year in May, and we've been together almost 5, so 4.5, a little bit more than that. And he has been somebody else, and myself as well, but he has been someone else from when I first met him in 2021 to 2026. And I think love is being along that journey with that person and understanding that you you will change and so will they, and they'll never be the same person you met in 2021 as they are standing in front of you today. And I think the understanding and the respect and appreciation for every version of themselves is like a pretty deep definition of love, I think, for me.
I love that. You gave me chills when you were saying who he was or who they are versus who they are
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And it's just different every day, but especially over a length of time.
Hmm.
It I think just speaking it out, it's hard to imagine what that looks like and saying, I will love you. It's
Hmm.
different versus actually doing it
Yeah.
and being in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's and I think that's where like the work comes in, right? That's where the challenges come in, where I mean, you have to decide like if that's something that you're willing to do, right? And uh I don't think, I mean, you hear that around, right? It's like love isn't enough, to make a life with somebody. You have to really have like the like strength and courage and teamwork and all that. And I think that really speaks to like what I said about, you meet this person in 2021 or whenever you meet that person, the friend, the partner, and they truly aren't the same person even a few months down the road, right? We're always learning and growing and changing. So yeah, I think it's an interesting process that we all kind of go through, regardless of relationship. But um, yeah, I think it is really beautiful when we do choose that.
Mm.
Because, you know, for me, I choose him every day and I choose like what he means to me, you know, and what we mean to each other and like the teamwork we have. So yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I cried already on the first one.
Oh,
I love it. Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Ah, beautiful.
Mm.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
What's one lesson about love or relationships that has completely changed the way you show up for Riley?
Um, a lesson I've learned. I mean, I kind of spoke about it a little bit, but I would say maybe another lesson I've learned would be I think one of my favorite sayings is that you may not show up as the same or you may not have the same energy, the same capacity every single day, right? I mean, being in this Croatian heat is a good example, right? That our energy may be a little bit more depleted because of the heat, or you know, just as an example. But I think every day things may kind of shift and sway us in our energy and capacity, and that doesn't stop at relationships too. So I think through the challenging times, through the things we can't control, like the hot weather, or a hard day at work, or something that is just like within us that we need to work through ourselves, like loving somebody throughout that. As I said a few minutes ago, like it is a challenge in ourselves, and that we really need to really look inward and see if it's something we want to kind of continue and go through, because it can really hurt. um, but at the same time, when you kind of go through it and get to the other side, especially together, it's you I mean, it sounds so cliche, but like you unlock like a lot that was kind of hidden underneath challenges that if they didn't happen, then you may not have gotten to that level. So I think to answer that question, someone may not show up the same as they did yesterday, or like I said, even a few years ago. Things have changed, things happen to us from day to day or year to year. But I think understanding that the love is still there, and it's honestly teamwork. Like
Mm.
Riley and I say that he may have a hard day at work, or I may have a hard day at school, or vice versa. And I'm like, Ry, like I want to let you know that I'm giving you 100%, but my 100% is 30% of my usual 100. If that makes sense. It's a lot of
Yeah,
numbers, but
yeah, yeah.
I don't have my full capacity today, but I am giving you 100% of what I can give, which is, all that. And you hear this line saying, if you only have 20, I'll give 80, right? Because I have more, or we meet each other in the middle. So I really like that, and I think that's really helped us um, acknowledge that sometimes we go through things together, but a lot of times it's like inner stuff that we do, or his stuff for work, or my stuff for school or work, and it's just things we need to go through separately together,
Yeah.
and being a team. And recognizing that capacity changes, energies changes, but knowing that like we're working through it together, and like it's like us versus the thing, not
Mm,
me and you versus each other, and then this thing is just here, right? It's like you and me versus the disagreement we had, or you and me versus you know the bills, or whatever, these challenges that are always bound to happen, and they will forever happen. But I think embracing them to the best of your abilities, and knowing that like we're a team, and that capacities change, but knowing that you can support your partner um, in whatever they're going through at whatever time together is something that I found really grounding for me and for us.
mm.
Yeah.
That's such a big lesson because I think,
Yeah.
I mean, in my experience in relationships and even like friendships sometimes, or you could look at a team, like say a hockey team or something.
Mhm.
Like it somehow turns to be us versus each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
hockey for a second, where maybe the teammates are like, "Dude, you didn't do that."
Mhm.
What does that do for the game, right?
Yeah.
So being able to
Yeah.
take it out and be like, it's us versus the problem,
Mhm.
not us versus each other. That
Yeah.
seems so much stronger and
Yeah.
like actually defines partnership
Yeah.
in such a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, and and that's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's it's us against the problem, and even if the problem is capacity,
Mhm.
right? Which I can't magically give you my 80% energy. That's a lot of work uh um that you need to do, right? I can love you and do what I can for you, but at the same time I can't magically snap my fingers and give that to you, even though I would, and I've tried,
Yeah.
right? But it takes away from me, and then I can't love you the best way I can either,
Mhm.
because then I'm at nothing now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I love it. Love it. Next question. Every
Hmm.
relationship goes through challenges. I'm curious if you have a habit, a practice, or a mindset that has helped your relationship stay strong through
Hmm.
the challenges, through the difficulties.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the one I just mentioned about the we're a team, right? It's
Mhm.
us versus the problem. But another excuse me, another kind of thing that we do is acknowledge that this is an outside thing, and recognizing that the discomfort, the disagreement, the anxiety, the fear, the sadness, whatever is happening in that moment of, let's say, a disagreement, let's just say a disagreement, that isn't our love, if that makes sense. Like I said a second ago, bills will come, financial stuff will come, disagreements will come, those roadblocks, those tough times, those challenges. But like understanding and remembering, trying to remember in those disagreements, in those really hard, elevated times, that isn't us, right? It's super. It can be very difficult, but like understand, and that's a little mantra that I have and that we've like said to each other. It's like, this isn't us, like this isn't us. This is over there, as I mentioned, right? This is
Mhm.
over here. This is over there. This isn't us. We don't speak to each other that way. We don't love that way. This is a really elevated time, and we got to go through that and feel that. But recognizing, especially when it's like we're either we're kind of coming to that high point, or we're just coming off of that low point. It's like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have raised my voice, or I shouldn't have. I'm sorry you felt like disregarded, or whatever that may look like. So understanding that our love is so much more than that. It's so strong that, like, even through the hard times, we can like pretty quickly acknowledge each other and be like, whoa, I'm not sure what that was. I'm so sorry. Please, like, I hope you know that wasn't to you. I'm feeling some sort of way inside, or something like that. And then we come back to each other fairly quickly. So I think that's something that, through challenges, is also very helpful. The teamwork, as I was saying, but also the understanding that those tiffs, those disagreements aren't us, as I guess the best way I can put it. That our love is so strong, and so durable. I guess is a good word too.
Yeah.
Is so durable that, like, you can knock it, you can shake it, you can throw it around. But at the same time, like, there'll be nicks in these bruises, but at the same time, like, they will heal, and we can kind of shake it off at the end and be like, that was weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. As a human, I woke up with a crazy headache, or I had been having a lot of anxiety today, and I'm sorry that kind of dripped into our conversation and our whatever we're going with through. So I think that's
Mm.
that's something too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
teamwork. It really comes back to teamwork. When you
Yes.
said durable, I thought of duct tape.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it is duct tape. It's very strong.
Yeah.
It can fix things as
Mhm.
well, as long as it's like together, like it's
Yeah.
one item.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Or like crazy gorilla glue.
yeah.
Like, and it's also like that saying of like, and I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but it's in a culture where if like a vase breaks, and then you like fill it with gold and it's more beautiful than it was before and more cherished. I'm like, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
because, things will be thrown around, things will, fall even by accident and in relationships in this case. And, we can put it back together and fill it with more love and more understanding and more grace and acceptance. And then we have this like new thing, which what a full circle moment. What I said earlier is that like our love and relationship and us as people are not the same as they were at the very beginning. So now
Yeah.
we have this like, beautifully crooked little vase that's like filled with like this gold and like it's super strong and it's
Mm.
beautiful and it's ours.
Mm, that gave me chills too. I love full circle moments.
Yeah.
That's change.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we have one more question.
Okay.
If you could leave listeners with one piece of advice for building a healthy, lasting relationship, what would it be?
Mm. The first thing that came to mind, it's just kind of funny, but it's true. The wise words of RuPaul once said, "If you can't love yourself, how the hell can you love someone else?" And it's so true. I think it's funny, but it's true. I
Mhm,
think for me, I've had different relationships in my life that again, full circle, were not based on healthy things and not
mhm,
based on real love, which I understand now. And I think it's a lot of inner work to work on yourself and to have self love, self acceptance, and really working on not only yourself, but like who fits in your life and adds to it, not um, the relationship is based on taking, I
mhm.
guess, which I think like a lot of like growing up in like new relationships are that, right? It
Yeah.
feels like a lot of take, a lot of take. And from no fault, but I think we're all learning at, when we're growing up and stuff like that. And people have different tendencies. But I think from what I learned that I really needed to look inward. I really need to be like, okay, don't love that, whatever that is. Um, I'm I'm like more worthy than, just being called upon when needed or in a relationship or not valued, not respected even, right? So going into, my relationship with Riley, especially, like I had a pretty good sense of who I was. I was 25,
Mm,
I think, when we started a relationship. So I had, a few years on me in adulthood and being like, okay, I've been through a lot and I know who I am and what I want and who I want, in my life. And I think, knowing yourself and respecting yourself and that you are worth so much more than, whoever you match with first on Tinder or
yes.
like whoever kind of DMs you on Instagram first, like you're worth so much more than that. And I think that's like step 1.
Mhm,
And then when you get into a relationship and you feel like confident and stuff, I think that just truly does show like 2 healthy people, right? Like the saying goes like hurt people. And
yeah.
that's so, so true. And I think just working on yourself is a really good starting point. And then relationships, as I've been saying, like are constant growth, are
Mhm,
constant growth. Riley and I have been together for 4.5 years, going on 5, and we have new conversations all the time,
mhm,
right? And we also acknowledge that. We're like, this is uncomfy. I don't like this very much, but that's because we've never done it before. It's only
mhm.
hard because it's new,
Yeah.
right? And acknowledging that I think is something that we're pretty good at too, which can lead to again more growth and more just more happiness like between everybody and just it being a better relationship for everyone. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
answering these. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love someone else? Put that on a freaking postcard. It probably already is, or a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know, as you were speaking, I was like, "This is why my standards are so high, because 'cause I'm
As they
surrounded."
should. As
I
they should.
Yeah, I have these healthy couples that I'm surrounded by. Even though it's been far, I've been away, but we're all
Mhm.
always connected, and I see your guys' love, and I'm like, "Wow," like, I want that.
Mm.
and I won't settle for anything less than that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so thank you.
Mm.
Thank you for being that picture of love. And I mean, there's a reason why I wanted to chat with you guys about it
Sure.
because
Yeah.
I see that. Like everything you said, you also really embody it. I think
Mm.
it's easy for people to say things, but it's so different when you actually live it and
Yeah.
your actions align. And like, especially being together for a week or however long it's been, you see that. You really do see it. Like, these people love each other
Mm.
and they do the work, and you do the work on a daily basis. You communicate everything from what I've seen. And so, yeah, it's admirable.
Yeah. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. And it is a lot of trial and error,
Hmm.
right? And I think that's also like a really interesting part of like relationships too, is just like the communication styles, right? Because um, Riley's and I are different. But again, with the understanding and respecting one another, like I understand, his how he likes to be spoken to, and like what kind of information he likes to be given, and in what way I should say, right, to feel respected and to feel heard and acknowledged. And in mine are similar yet different.
Hmm.
And I think as the years have gone on, like we've I don't think anything or anyone could be perfect, but we're mastering that, a
Hmm.
little bit and by a little bit. And just really seeing that uh yeah, each person, has their person and has their people. I think it's just finding that, and also like making that for yourself. Like I
Hmm.
said, with the self work, and realizing what that looks like for you, and yeah, kind of just going out and getting it. And I have no doubt that you will too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. One more interviewee, Mr. Riley. He'll
Done.
be up next. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. We have our final guest, Mr. Riley Grieveson.
Hello?
This is my brother. For those of you who don't know, I have a brother. And I just interviewed his wife. And I'm so excited for this one. Last but definitely not least, I think we're similar in a way that, I mean, we're both really deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you're like really deep lately. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Not to add pressure, but a little pressure doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So you didn't see the questions beforehand, did you?
I read them over,
Okay,
but I thought I would try to answer them sort of on the spot.
try to flow with it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Similar to dad. So the first question in this 1 year of marriage for you, 30 years for mom and dad, is how do you define love?
I would say the way that I define love is by how much you're willing to sacrifice your for somebody or for something. So basically how how I can show up for for a person, um be of service to that person.
Mm. Can I ask a question off of it?
Hmm.
How does this show up in your relationship?
Yeah. um I think a lot of it is really like when you're single, you focus a lot on yourself, and when you meet another person, they've got their own types of things that they want out of the day. And I don't know, I kind of just found that like when I was alone, I would be like, what's in it for me? What can I get out of this? Etc. And when I have a person, or a friend that I, you know, show the act of love, um, it makes me just kind of it changes the day. So, you know, I always try to fill up my cup, but then if I could give all of myself to the person like that I'm with, as long as I don't run out of, energy,
Mhm.
that I'll look for those things to do. And that could look like really anything. Could be working a little bit extra hard to, save up for a vacation, or making a meal, or, taking care of my partner when they need it.
Mhm.
Mm.
I love that. I love now talking to a few of you how I'm noticing how the men answer and how the women answer. And I get a lot of that like protector, provider energy,
Mhm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, next question. What is one lesson about love or relationships that has completely changed the way you show up for Hannah?
I would say the lesson that I learned the most was, oh, I think that the one is like self-love.
Mm,
So, I actually needed to figure out what that looked like. Like what like everything now has turned into um like you look at a word and you wonder like, why did that word, like what is that word made up of?
mm,
So, like say for example, like unrelated to love, it's like encourage is a different act of love in a way. And I read in a really great idea, but the way that it's defined is encourage is to give courage to like another person.
mm,
So like these words are, you know, they might be like a noun where it's just like, this is love, you can like see it, or like it could be like a verb or an adjective, and like there's like an action that you um that you take by performing that word. So when you don't have a lot of self-love, you don't perform many actions of love towards yourself. And so the more I meditate on those words, the easier it is to have clarity on what the action looks like for my partner or for myself. And so the lesson there is like, what have I been doing for self love, and where can I get, where are my sources to help me learn that and to practice that, just like practicing it like a skill.
mm,
Um, and so that lesson is that it is a skill, and if I can master that skill, then not only, well, actually, we've seen it happen in our life where if there's a common ground of like, you know, respect and space, and you know, you could be a completely set of values, religion or anything like that, and you can um, still experience like love, or like act out love to a person that you are just completely different from you. Um, so that in a relationship, it's like you could change who you are completely over the course of your lifetime, and it doesn't matter. Like
mm,
the love is still the same, because it's like fully um, accepting, and um, yeah, that's why I go deep on it, because I think some people might just, or at least not some people, but myself, who didn't know that, would just mirror things that I saw around me,
mhm,
rather than having it come from my, um, like from like divine masculinity, or um, like a deeper place.
mm. It's funny you said that's why I go deep. I was just thinking that was deep. And I totally like I see that. how I see it is you can't give what you don't have. And so the more you pour into yourself and figure out what those methods almost or like that action you take to pour into yourself, the more you can give that to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So was the lesson almost like learning how to give what you give yourself to someone else?
I think the lesson was to, um, it was to learn what love looks like. So, um, once you've healed yourself, you start to think, I only want to add to others. If you're in a place of like hurt, then you hurt others
Mm-hmm.
because you're just like licking your wounds and like anyone wants to jump in your space, you're like, nope. Like, it's like when you go to come up to an animal that's injured and like, it's probably not safe to be around that injured animal. So, um, like that animal has to be healed. That's why healers exist,
Mm-hmm.
who are willing to be courageous enough to like help that person heal. So like that's another like skill to learn. But like the idea is that like healing plays a role in it, and the skill of love is like look for that everywhere you go, and it changes your world completely, um because then you know what to avoid doing, and what you like what you learn what to lean into as well, um because like the skill of loving yourself or loving someone else is not um something you that comes from a place of isolation.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like come from, well, let me just go and be by myself in a dark room and I'll come back and I'll be loving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, let me go and continue to find those things that make me feel like I've like love, whether it be talking to like a really nice stranger or um just thinking about like the nice things in like a new culture like we are in Croatia, and
Mm-hmm.
like how they create harmony and peace in their community, and be like, I'm going to take a little bit of that and also contribute to that, and like have that exchange, and that's like love.
Mm-hmm.
And then my love is constantly being nourished, and then the interacting, you don't really think about it anymore. You're not actually thinking about how, you just think, I'm acting out of love,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is a peaceful exchange. And doesn't mean there's not gonna be hard times, but um, it, it's changed my life completely,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I think that Hannah's taught me that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's taught me how to love, because she's very much like, it doesn't matter if we're in a shack or in a beautiful country, or you have a title or not, or even do anything. Like, you're accepted, you're loved, so do with that what you will. And then for me, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll start learning more about myself, because like before I was maybe just doing a lot of things for others, and now I'm doing things for me.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it actually pours over into others too, which is sort of a lesson in itself too, where it's like, oh, like you don't, um, I'm not necessarily just loving my partner anymore. Like, we have our community around us now, get that spillover. And now our friends call us like mom and dad, and they're like the same age as us. And it's like, they turn to us because like it's a safe space. And for them, they might feel like they don't have that elsewhere. So if they have it here, then that's a pretty big fulfilling thing
Yeah,
to have.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm kicked out. I see how that would change how you show up for your partner too, because I mean, it's all love. It's all love. Okay, third question. Every relationship goes through challenges. What is one habit, practice, or mindset that keeps your relationship strong through those challenges or hard seasons?
Mm. I think a mantra that we've always said was like, you know, it's not a problem that's happening between us. It's happening to either you or I individually, and that's coming into the relationship. So like an example would be like, you were like hurt somewhere else, or maybe you're like neglecting your like health or something like that. Well, it's like, um, okay, well that's why you're cranky, and I know that, and so like it shifts the way that I um interact from maybe an old version of myself who might go, why can't you just be something, to I know this isn't your normal self and that you need something, you need me to pour into you.
Mm.
Um, so like, what can I do and what can I look to around us or within us to get back to this baseline
Mhm.
that um, you want to be at, that helps our relationship and helps us keep just peace, because peace is like really the goal. Love is
Mhm.
the goal. So like it might not even be like and I will say that at the same time, it's not like, hey, you're falling off the wagon, well let's quickly like snap you back. Well, it's like maybe you're going through like grief or something because you
Mhm.
lost someone or something, and you might need like weeks or even months to like process. Well, it's like then now that's the season,
Mhm.
and we can pour into that and make sure that that's nourished. So it's not, yeah, how do we say it? It's like, I don't think we're having an issue. I think like I'm feeling off, and that's usually um the ownership that we'll take.
Mhm.
It's like you take ownership over everything. Um, and then all of a sudden it's like two people are like putting in more than 100% because you're not expecting them to bring something more to make it all work. It's like you do your part.
Mhm.
And so far, it's been pretty good. We actually don't really fight.
Mm.
Like we argue about stuff, but it's not even like that traditional um, thing you might see on like shows or you hear about where it's like, you know, um, oh, like the stereotypical bickering that like old married couples have, where
Mm.
they just like can't seem to like see each other eye to eye on even just like small things.
Yeah. It's not you versus each other, it's you versus the problem,
Mm-hmm.
which is exactly what Hannah said. So it makes sense because
Mm-hmm.
y'all are a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Adds up, checks out. They're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, we have one more question. If you could leave listeners with one piece of advice for building a healthy, lasting relationship, what would it be?
I would say take care of your health, um, and try to learn that together. Because if we're talking about the thing I was talking about earlier, where like words
Mm.
that have like carry meaning, like one is like the word of like disease,
Mm.
and no one ever wants to like admit that they have a disease. Um, but like Health Canada or the like government governing bodies might define them as like these really crazy like things that are terrible, but it really is just like broken down phonetically, the absence of living at ease, like dis-ease.
Mhm.
So a lot of relationship problems can come from just feeling like something's wrong inside your body. And if you feel that way, you're going to project that whatever you're feeling inside outside, and think that like other stuff is going wrong
Mhm.
too. So I would say like you could really align if you can align on that. Um, I feel like everything else like eventually just like falls into place. It's like, well, we don't. Why do we not drink a ton of alcohol or any alcohol at all? It's like, oh well, I don't feel like I'm my best self when I'm recovering from that.
Mhm.
Or why do we stay away from processed foods? Oh well, like my gut really gets messed up when we have that, and now all of a sudden I'm thinking about this and not you. And so like you start to turn inward when you're like in a state of disease, and that's like what you want to um heal. So
Mhm.
just like that constant inflammation can be like the biggest hindrance on like a relationship. Um, so I would say like centering a lot of your life around that, um, and not even just like food, but even just like socially too. Like
Health. We're on the Health Chats podcast. Is what it's all about.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that. That's like, I mean, a full circle moment of my entire podcast.
yeah,
But yeah, it's true. It all comes down to health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, relational health. I think that's great advice for
hmm
relationships. Yeah.
hmm Thank you.
So good. Do you have anything else that you wish to share that you think the audience would need to hear?
Mm, no, the guided questions are helpful.
That's okay.
They are helpful.
Well, I appreciate you being on
hmm
the Health Chats podcast. I have my whole family on here now. How cool is that? I feel so grateful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Now we're going to go enjoy the last day of our vacation, 30 years of marriage for our parents. Crazy.
Very exciting.
This is why I said this with Hannah too. Why I have such high standards, because I'm surrounded by two very healthy, longevity, healthy, different versions of love relationships. I'm like, I don't need to settle. I
Mm.
see a lot of beauty in pieces of what I want. So, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too.